now. Almost 14 hours. It started around 9 o'clock last night, and as we know, it quickly spread via the fierce Santa Ana winds. They were driving it to the southwest, and that is where we saw the evacuations take place, and of course where we are seeing multiple homes in Porter Ranch being burned, literally burned to the ground. So right now we have 23,000 homes that remain under evacuation orders. That is roughly about 100,000 people. And really the point here, let me see if I can grab Captain Brandon Silverman. Thank you so much, Captain. I know you've been kind of updating us all morning, but what can you tell us right now as far as any changes to the fire? I know we have a media briefing at 1 o'clock.
Right. We will have more details at 1 o'clock. We're still collecting the updates from the crews that are out there on the ground. But they definitely have a very serious firefight still going on. They're aggressively attacking this fire from the ground and the air, and we're calling in additional resources as we speak to continue fighting this fire.
I know we were concerned about the wind because overnight the wind tends to lay down a little bit, and everyone was concerned when the sun came up. How has that been looking in the morning in terms of the wind? Right.
Well, definitely as the sun comes up, we get higher temperatures, the winds start to pick up, and any moisture that the fuels were able to obtain overnight dries out very quickly. So we're basically back in the same boat that we were yesterday when the fire started. It started in the evening, but the fuel moisture has gone away, and we definitely have dry brush and really hazardous conditions for firefighters and anybody in those areas.
Is there any shred of good news at this point? Anything we can give folks to kind of give them some hope that maybe things are looking better?
Well, we do have over 1,000 firefighters, 500 from the Los Angeles Fire Department and another 500 from cooperating agencies working their hardest, really doing their best to save as many properties as possible. And fortunately, most people have escaped with their lives. We did unfortunately have one casualty. But, it's a very tragic situation.
All right. Thank you so much, Captain Brandon Silverman, for that update. And as the captain said, one of the things that, we really want to mention is those firefighters. They are working around the clock. And, as you guys know, covering these fires in the field, it's one thing to watch it on TV, but when you are here and you are in the midst of the thick smoke and the ash and the heat, and then you're looking at these firefighters who are wearing 3 times as much gear as we are wearing when we're covering it for the news, it really does give you a whole different respect for these firefighters. So we are just so grateful to them and want to continue to let them do their jobs so that they can keep all of us safe. And again, they want to ask everyone to heed to those evacuation warnings, because that is just so crucial at this point so that they can get in there, get those hot spots out, and hopefully get control of this fire, which at this point, unfortunately, as we know, is still 0% contained. We'll send it back to you guys.
Stephanie, thanks so much. Rick Dickert is back in Skyfox, just relaunched from Van Nuys Airport. Just took a quick look at your Instagram, Rick, and the Super Scoopers looked like they were at the airport as well on the ground.
They certainly were, Marla. They were fueling as we were getting fuel. A little maintenance down up here in Skyfox. They're getting their 2 aircraft a look over. You never want to take compromise safety, and they're checking it out. Not getting water, though. They're getting water from Castaic. That's their dipping source, and those 2 Super Scoopers are using Castaic to scoop up at 80 miles an hour the 1,600 gallons of water into the tanks of those aircraft. We're over the eastern flank of the fire, and they have done a tremendous job. The Super Scoopers, the tankers with the FOS check, you can see that film painted on the side there, and we're going to go down on the line there, the fire has not jumped that line. We saw dozers up there cutting through the vegetation. That's part of gaining that containment, which is still at 0%. I'm going to show you the medical center down below that they were concerned with earlier, and right now it looks pretty good. That line is in front of the medical center, and the active flames and smoke we're seeing moving in the opposite direction. There is the Mount Olive Medical Center down below. The 210 freeway completely shut down, completely empty still, which is really good news. The weather, the wind is still blowing, not quite as strong as it was earlier this morning. Definitely lighter velocities compared to yesterday morning. Skyfox got hammered as those winds first made their appearance here in Southern California. You can see still a lot of tinder dry vegetation there across the fire line, but essentially they're letting that part of the vegetation burn out. As long as those flames you see there are not in any close proximity to any homes or structures. They're working on the western flank 10 miles from this spot. That's above Porter Ranch. We'll continue to watch this fire from up here in Skybox. Back to you in the studio.
And speaking of closures, Rick, the 118, we have some good news here. The freeway has reopened in both directions. So earlier it had opened eastbound lanes, CHP, now telling us that both directions are now open. All right, we want to head over to Mario Ramirez. He's been in Porter Ranch for us throughout the morning. Mario.
Yeah, good morning. Along Gillette Avenue here, we're actually in Granada Hills, and this is what we're seeing here. Residents coming back to find their property completely lost. Now, this is along Gillette Avenue north of Cessnon Boulevard in Granada Hills, one of several homes that we've seen either damaged or destroyed by the fire, and some of the residents have been coming back to check on their property. Unfortunately, this couple here finding out that it's no longer standing. This one a complete loss again, and we've seen several others along Roxburgh Place, Beaufort Avenue, Winged Foot Way that were either lost or damaged in this fire. Residents in this neighborhood, they were evacuated overnight. Many had nowhere to go, no idea of what the plan would be if they didn't have family in the area. And we spoke to a lot who said the hotels are all booked up. And this was both here in Granada Hills and Porter Ranch. They didn't know what they were going to do. So it's just a really devastating sight to see. I mean, this house was standing 12 hours ago, and the residents coming back being told by firefighters that this is now what they're dealing with. So this is one of two homes here along Gillette Avenue. In the last live shot, we brought you a home just next door. But these are the only two here that have been burned by this fire. It gives you an idea of the random, order of these homes being lost. For now, reporting live here along Gillette Avenue in Granada Hills. We're going to send it back to you in the studio.